Do you know what hour is today, Sunday? I suppose already the 17:17, which is already the day almost past. And you still go on these crimes. These are crimes in honor of the sexual realities. These fit on the heavy reality of Internet of Things, which is a conjunct of automatizations. We have saw recently in Portuguese Parliament twice at the same time of this nuclear holocaust against me, of robbery, impeachment, destruction of machines. I qualify damage, vandalism, acts everyday crimes. Doing this as a telecommand. We know this from 20 or 30 years ago on televisions and music, sound systems, and now this is everywhere. These people control even the lights of house of peoples, objects, electrodomestics. They do what they want. These are crimes, and are crimes that are done to rob or to distract, to make a lot of different crimes. Must be clear. The comprehension of all in the courts on these matters can't be. Even if it's a joke or whatever, or present as a joke or disguised as a joke. These are not jokes. Can be, but there are proper ways to do jokes. This can be hocus pocus, simplement, simples, hocus pocus, but these are hocus pocus are inductory criminal process of conscience of peoples that lead to acts. These are ways to entangle in some narrative that, once again, I must stress this, after publishing these today's Sunday posts, 1st of March already, where I republish a video by a link that's still on my drive, apparently, from 3 months ago concerning this attack, and there's no return of the damage. There's no possibility to go on where I was in worldwide questions of tragedy. And it's fair to raise these all together, have an ability to impeach people, even to proceed the clarification of what they know about these tragedies. Which means also by consequence and extension raise the suspicion or gives more corpus or nature to the suspicion that these people have interest on this. And so this is a logical detectable saw based on the criminal facts, and is reinforced because 20 years is all the days, can I say properly, unfair in these ways, and it becomes worse because it's more available to many. People can't live in this way. If you say what I have even stated yesterday, the flights, jets coming with small, I can think in my love delirium of impossibility of love on her, and my beloved one was coming here, it's cold. And I wake up with light, and I was supposing that was the morning light. No, it was the electrical light, like an indication of flight. Nevertheless, just to comment this is also a crime. I must repeat this ad eternum. After publishing this last post, where I give by write this account on this hocus pocus, whatever illusion, whatever covering, or whatever protection of international crimes of terror, it appears in one of these browsers news, Marcel with Montenegro by side, Montenegro looking a little bit like this, like almost smiling, almost laughing. Marcel saying, see, by the face expression nothing, but and the title says, we don't advise Portuguese to travel or to go out of home, or even to have a love confront of kisses, or a gun confront of atomic bombs with terrorists. This can't be like this. Politicians, people's where functions of state cannot play these shadow plays at second. They do every day. This is a distraction of functions of representation of state. What I'm tired to explain this can't be. I do not even read the news. Apparently, there was other written lines on this news that I briefly comment. This will take me more than 1 hour to pass through Bluetooth to this phone to make a conversion to download the height of the file and put it on my blog. If I put it, I'm already pissed off, and I have reasons to be pissed off. And I was dreaming this morning that I was sleeping, embracing with my love. These have a particular and real effect on life of persons at all the levels. This is evil acts. These are criminal by the configuration and what is on the table. Criminal interests at a very high level and a very high damage. I speak about tsunamis at 9/11, for instance, again. We are 2026. These videos are published 3 months ago. I do not have answers. Where are the 1,500 pages? Where are the money compensation to the machines that have kaput, that do not allow me to even write or even make music or whatever properly? There were more lines. I touch appears whatever veil, say, with a mumbo jumbo classic that appears sometimes at each news that they want people do not see. Why? Because let's say agree or not agree with the conditions of the supply of the news, and you say no at hell, I suppose it's fair to say, then you must mark and dismark a lot of different selection box, and after put people count to these. Newspapers, information, first of all, during these last decades, was already also a commerce, which means there was professions, there are investments, there are companies, there are rules, laws, and we go to the outside and we buy the newspaper. Or we pay leases to have a broadcasting reception. Leases or whatever. What is this now? A play of evil every second, act also by politicians that have other roles, and we expect to see them act in what is important in common terms in society. These are crimes. Because what I have just said concerning the text of this same photo with both, which is the president and the prime minister, was a different polarity of statements. When smiling, saying, "Oh, this is a love arrival to your heart and solid truth of a victim that do not knows even about his son from 2007, fuckers! Come here and light up and down my nights in my face to see what I answer you." And the other saying, suggesting fear, love, joke, and fear. This is the reality. There was also Pedro Pascoal that I just mentioned by questions of health security, national health security. Say, if I return, I will not return for the good reasons. Actually, these circumstances, you have all the freedom as persons, individuals, to do whatever you want. If you want to play Nazi shadow plays, you are allowed to play them and suffer the consequences, because these are crimes defined against all humankind. That is, most probably, if some will work to solve the problems of the world and destruction of this road, that will be present on TPE. But nevertheless, you are public figures with functions of gestion of common affairs. You cannot play these in this way. You create a space of communication of yourselves, where you start to say, I'm the president, but I'm also a citizen and I have my free right to make shadows, Nazi shadows. And people go there and see what are you playing, whatever, if they are interesting. but not as public figure that carries in this moment functions that are state functions and have questions others to solve that you do not solve, fuckers. I'm losing my Sunday with these two fuckers or three fuckers that appears me on image, and it's proper to call them fuckers because no answers according the duties of fulfillment of government rules and respect of law that they owe to me. Arrest them. But I will say this: I have good account by this nuclear bomb that they have launched to me. There was even a print image of a great destruction announcing that Israel have destroyed some armament on Iran today. And this is always multi-level, reflects and echoes. I was saying I was remembered in this large, vast conjunct of documents which correspond to work. Work corresponded before in human reality to production and people to have money, which is never more true. We are always surviving with the normal expectable dependencies that peoples must have to survive on these conditions also. And I say, these letters that I delivered to the President's House 2 years ago concerning these matters of communication and security, national security, that allows all these mumbo-jumbo criminals and play of shadows criminals and Nazis that entangles all others and do not solve nothing properly because these are more than 2 years ago, there's no answers. How this is possible? Governments and presidents or whatever it is, it's not expectable that they act in daily basis and solve problems. Was the same question I found there after or before. This is a count and it was recorded on video, this phone with this lady from there, apparently that, because the question was this, I phoned the presidency by the number that I found online, and he goes to a man, says, here the clinical center of the Palace of Presidents. Without any indication, of course, on the phone agenda of a number to a service of this kind. Then I speak with a lady that was assessor of him, apparently, by the name and whatever, and I give this account and say, oh, this is impossible. She answers to me. I replied, no, lady, this is the reality. And I advised her to take measures to understand what was the problems on communication and the session of communication concerning the palace of the presidency. This is the same question that arose in 2007 in the presidency of Cavaco Silva when I tried to reach them. Not in literal sense because they do not redirect me to a health service. Always this a surplus of Nazi tone of persecution and facts, attacks and crimes. But the liberation of communications registers was already on the table on 2007, around 2026. The non-solution of these during this period of time is a very high aggravation by the law, because these are problems that are affecting all in this country, and it's not only on this country. But I cannot rule or expect to rule properly in my country by the institutions that have functions of solve common problems and security in other countries. I'm happy if things work well here, at least, where I'm living. To finish this, that have must perhaps half an hour to entertain the devil and hell and the Nazis, and allows these Nazi shade of reality to grow a little bit more centimeters by constructing miraculous stories and inversion of facts and by crimes of adulteration that is a crime first of all against the first right, the important right of liberty of expression in all its integrity, in these apparently what dialogues of what shadows, where are the answers due to me by law concerning the status of my son. This internet data connection is not an internet, it's a data connection. Ship will finish today, apparently, I suppose. And I don't know if tomorrow I go to the bank to see if I have a transfer from a dead man with a changed name to proceed or not. This is the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Nazis are persons who, in face of the knowledge and the knowledge of this kind of situations, as you, for instance, the trees that I've got it now, Pedro Passos Coelho, Luís Montenegro, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, with these responsibilities on common affairs in the Republic, know in detail, and they behave in this way. This is an aggravation because this is the real portrayal of your political gesture and nature. It's amazing how you conduct the psychodrama and the impact on real life of persons. I was sleeping this morning with a feeling of peace and love because I was dreaming that I was embracing to a beautiful lady on my bed. And I'm pissed off already. You do this on purpose. These are Nazi process of inducting collectives. These are the same process, in essence, that you have used now to make an article elections. It often still goes on pissing me off already at 6 o'clock around this and you know, because I've just explained some concepts of law and it's not even perfectly correct what I've enunciated about the liberty on another model of communication on the situation that I have covered, because we have all the liberty until the use of the liberty to destroy the liberty itself, which is a decadent principle that from, for instance, emerged on the Nazism after the Second World War. I suppose this has become form of law in global terms, because I cannot do apologize of Nazism, for instance. There are limits by law that defines the liberty of expression, and I suppose it's fair to say the universal comprehension in basic terms is this one. You have all the freedom to express yourself, less to destroy the liberty itself. And I'm losing time explaining this in a very clear way, as I have long time write this in completely well right words and square, well, in perfect terms, in law terms including. I'm losing my time to feed the block that is eating all us. Surplus, because I'm not even happy with myself. Now, people do, when they know things well, they are pleased with themselves, balance, there's joy in life, life goes on, and so on. And when we react by obligation of criminal obligations to react to this criminal reality and facts that runs free every second in this country, people's answer in a level that do not, I suppose, for people who have auto-conscience of themselves, fulfilling even the respect concerning each one of us, by hers, love, proper love, ou amor próprio, vou falar em português. Destrói a capacidade do nosso amor próprio. Porquê? Porque estou a falar de questões de lei, por exemplo, que são fundamentais. Eu já falei delas no passado em forma perfeitinha. E estou aqui a reagir com uma carga emocional também derivada de uma emoção que é montada globalmente. Portanto, fico chateado comigo mesmo. Porque sei fazer as coisas melhor. Sei explicar melhor. Vocês são terríveis. São diabólicos. No, even until now, 6 o'clock already, the day almost gone, and I have a payroll forced laborers over to do this video and put it online if I put it online. slavery with forced labor is the terms of this that I'm saying, which is a complaint on this peculiar. What I was saying. I'm not even sure if it is done by remotes, which is a reality, and a Nazi reality that can be allowed. People have not, people can do this on their equipment at their home, but not in the other of the house of the other. And this can be done for the other side of the planet today by networks. Or someone has entered here because I did not even check to see if something more has been robbed, adulterated, or whatever, of my writings, draws, or whatever. Vocês fazem isto de um diabolismo terrível porque é tudo construído ou pensado em relação aos inputs e aos resultados. Sabes porquê? Porque eu estava na cama dentro do quarto fechado, portanto a luz que vi entrar foi pela frincha debaixo da porta do quarto. Sabeis que isto é um tema que está em cima da mesa outra vez, por um conjunto de encenações vastíssimas sobre os portões, com as frinchas, as aberturas, os roubos de dinheiro, tentos até tráfico de armas e não sei quem. Isto é diabólico. Diabólico porquê? Porque este tema está em cima da mesa factualmente por um conjunto de coisas, encenações, disfarces, repetições, como aqui há um canto, às frinchas, nas portas, outra vez, na Independência. Não? Vem desde o tempo da Exo, girafa, portanto, 9 do 11, não sei o quê, está vendo? Tem o mundo inteiro nesta nebulosa de factos. Não, os factos não são nebulosos por si. O que é nebuloso é as possíveis somas. E as conclusões, e dizer, houve merda, deitaram abaixo ou não deitaram, vão ser presos ou não presos. Está a ver? E depois o que é que eu extraio daqui? Uma relação agora com um avião. Não é? Com histórias de aviões. Até o primeiro técnico com 747. 747 é o nome de um Boeing. Posso pensar que isto é uma indução pensada ao pormenor para expectar o resultado sobre uma qualquer averiguação sobre o 747, que não sei se é o avião que caiu em 93 na América. Aquilo que eu vos falei. Como o único facto real que eu conheço, limpo, sei que se pode falar de limpeza numa queda de um avião, morrem 300 pessoas, não é? Ou por aí, naquele avião de Los Angeles, Nova Iorque, não sei o quê, que é o único. Quando esta componente de 93 dos aviões nas torres, começa a perceber que isto é uma só ganhada, parece uma ilusão, ou também desenhada ao pintelho. Depois aparece uma memória, por causa desse filme, com o Gwen e os publicistas e não sei o quê, de 93, que há um flight de 93, em 93, que esse avião real caiu e morreram pessoas, percebe? Mas que soma é que eu posso tirar daqui? Nenhuma. A validade disto para a vida das pessoas, quer dizer, alguém terá uma confirmação que intuitivamente a soma de uma determinada indução leva aparentemente a uma confirmação da relação destes fatores. Em relação a quê? À queda de 93 ou às torres? Oh, meus senhores, agora isto para o lado da vítima que está a ser explorada como escravo em trabalhos forçados, para além de chatear a vida toda e dar cabo da vida toda, eu não sei do filho, ao caralho, uma vez a gente continua a entender, que continua a exigir as respostas que são tidas por lei. Para além disso, isto não me soma na minha consciência nada. Porquê? Porque eu não me deitei com as luzes acesas, deitei com as luzes apagadas. Portanto, a validade destes termos, para mim, é a validade da minha consciência ou ser confrontado com estas sombras construídas ao segundo em forma global. Isso, pois, eu só quero ir melhor, já estão com um dia mais bem precisado de roubado. Qual é o preço de compensação indemnizatória à situação dos escravos com trabalhos forçados por dias roubados? Ponho esse dinheiro já na minha conta, contando, se calhar, toda a minha vida nestes últimos 20 anos, visto que todos os dias tenho sido confrontado por estas razões neste inferno. Os senhores têm que ser. Tem que ser resolvido pela lei. O que é que eu ia dizer? 93, vamos lá ver se a gente entende. No 9 do 11 corresponde a um voo que se chama 93, que é um dos aparentes aviões caídos, onde esta coisa ainda se embrulha mais outra vez em 2006, pela Premiere de Bilan de 2005, quando está 93, tem relações que factos outros que foram construídos no hospital, e não sei quando ela tive no Japão, em 2011, na altura do Japão, quando tive que ir às urgências, com explosões nas escolas aqui do Cartacho. Isto é uma só ganhada do além, como sempre. E é uma só ganhada além, como eu agora vos lembrei, em breve, 9/11, 2006, 2011, que estas coisas têm esta habilidade, porque não são resolvidas por lei, de continuar a atravessar o tempo por décadas. Continuam a embrulhar hoje aqui, dia 1 de março de 2026. E a roubar-me um dia inteiro para aqui.